Thanks to the support as a channel member, Joshua Selig. Well, we've made it to the January transfer window, and after a little bit of time to assess the squad, I've managed to bin off some fringe players that I didn't really want, and all of a sudden have £25 million to spend. This is better than having a tycoon ever was. We're going Christmas shopping. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're going to play some football matches, but that's not really what this is about. This is about transfers. Since you were last with me, this is what's gone on. We have obviously played quite a lot of football. I think you were with me for Birmingham and Sheffield Wednesday. We did continue our winning run. We won the next 3 games after that, but then went for a 5-match run without a win in December, which was a little bit alarming, but we've now turned that around with a couple of wins in the league. Good old McDongs helping me out there. Plus, we've made it through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, where we're going to play Premier League Fulham, and we'll probably show that in today's video. So I won't show you both Middlesbrough and Norwich. In fact, I might not even show you Middlesbrough at all. We'll have a bit of a ponder. This is what the league table looks like, though. 26 games gone. We're 10th in the league, 5 points behind Norwich. So we're definitely going to show you Norwich because that's the more interesting of the two. But the key thing is, transfers have gone on. You'll already know in the last episode I signed Max Elaine on a free transfer, and he's been brilliant. He's a nailed-on starter at centre-back for me and worth over £10 million. That's a good free transfer signing. Mohamed El Arouch, we signed at the same time but couldn't register him. He is now registered and will now be able to make his debut. He's going to have to force his way past Keating to get into the team, who has just got better and better. We gave him his debut and he is now just a superstar. He runs things from midfield, which is lovely to see. But while we've been deciding who our favourites are, we've been binning off some of the fringies. So the fringies that have moved on, Saifala Latif has gone to ES Tunis for £230,000. I mean, it's a huge loss on a player the club signed for £3.2 million 18 months ago, but he was never used before I got here. I was never going to use him. He's a perfect example of the terrible transfer policy this club had before, and we're trying to clear up that mess. Here's another example. Sam McCallum signed for £825,000 from Watford in the summer as like the 5th choice left back. We've managed to get £500,000 back off of Charlton, and we've still got a gazillion left backs. Another left back has gone. Lee Buchanan signed again back in the summer, £8.75 million. He was barely used. I brought him off the bench a few times, gave him a couple of starts, but to get £6.75 million back for him seems like sensible business. And then Paddy Lane, who was on the transfer list when I arrived, I actually moved him off of the transfer list and was using him a little bit. But Sheffield United offered me £18.5 million for him, for a player the club paid £4.2 million for. I guess that kind of business cancels out all the bad transfers, because that's bonkers. £18.5 million for a guy who wasn't even a nailed-on starter for me. Obviously, I'm taking that all day long. So we go into this window, £25 million of transfer budget, plus some spare wage budget as well, and we need to work out what we need. If we look at what we've got on our squad depth, we've still got loads of left backs. So left backs we're absolutely well covered for. We could probably do with a new right back, because our backup is a 32-year-old who we'd probably do well to get rid of. Centre back, we've got Kitching, we've got Elaine. Scales can play there, but then it's a mixture of untried youngsters and old folk like Rojas that we probably want to get rid of. In midfield, we've obviously got new boy El Arouch plus Keating competing as the playmaker. Rodoni's been brilliant and been given a new contract as the Mazzala, but doesn't really have a backup. And we've got a few players who can fill in this deep-lying, ball-winning midfielder role. We've also got a lot of fringe stuff like Mark Leonard that we just don't need. If we can get good money for Mark Leonard, I mean, what is he doing here? I don't really understand what he's for. He's another one. We spent £8 million on him. He started 3 games this season, and we're playing 3 central midfielders. If he can't get in the team before I've spent £25 million, he ain't ever getting in the team. I think we need a striker. Okereke has started scoring goals. He's got 9 for the season now, but he's 31 years old, and we don't really have a backup. We've got Jai Bonner, who came in from Lincoln back in the summer and has scored a couple of goals for us now, but really, I think he's probably going to end up being a wide player for me, so I think we need an out-and-out striker. And then we've still got Dennis Johnson knocking around the place, who is another one that's baffling. £9 million on a 30-year-old. I've taken him off the transfer list because he's quite good. But if someone wants to give him big money for him, I'll take it. But look how many players we've got. It's such a ridiculously bloated squad. And there's so much good young talent here that there's not a huge amount that I need to do. So I just want to go out and find superstars. I think we probably need a backup goalkeeper. I think we probably need a striker. And then we just need significant upgrade Premier League quality stars in the rest of the team. Let's bring in Wonder Kids. Why not? Well, we have our first signing of January. Dane Scarlett is in from Tottenham. £7 million or 7.25 million. He's actually come off the bench for Spurs 10 times and scored 2 Premier League goals this season. He's been like their first reserve off the bench for a couple of years, it seems. So to be able to bring him in to play in the Championship, big upgrade, much better than anyone else we had who could play centre forward. My kind of striker, nice and quick, good finisher, should score a big old pile of goals. And if he doesn't, we can double our money on him, selling him this time next year. We've moved a couple more players on as well. Our Brazilian Capixaba has gone to Botafogo for 350,000. Robert Rojas has gone to Cruz Azul for 1.3 million. And we've loaned out Sib van Ottel, who was another one of our rotation midfielder, defender kind of guys. He's gone out as well. I'm hoping to be able to bring another defender in. We are working on that, but at the moment, there's still plenty of money. This is still very much a work in progress, and the squad is still looking very solid. All the better for having Dane Scarlett part of it, and he comes straight into the team for this game against Norwich. We drew against Middlesbrough in that previous game. Norwich are 5th in the league. We are 7 points behind them. So a win here, we're in a promotion race. Defeat does become a smidgen harder. So it's going to be Travers in goal. A back four of Scales, Kitching, Elaine and Bree. Eccles at the base of the midfield. Keating and Rodoni ahead of him. Mason Clark on the left. Johnson on the right. And Dane Scarlett making his debut up front. He's not match fit, even though he's been coming off the bench for Spurs. But fingers crossed he's got that extra little bit of quality that is just going to lead to, if he can get like 15 goals for us between now and the end of the season, I think that's going to be enough to fire us up into the playoffs. And just cross everything. We've actually got a young, decent striker. Yes, we've spent a lot of money on him, but I think he's going to be great. Talking of people who are going to be great, here is the youngster Keating, plays it into Rodoni. Eccles is there, and it's 1-0, and it's a shenanigans free kick. I normally don't approve of this kind of thing, but we let Joey Keating do what on earth he wants. The man... is he a man? He's 20. The boy, the man. I'm old enough to be his dad. He just runs everything at 20 years old. I will forever be flabbergasted that he wasn't a part of this team before I arrived. Regardless of what signings we make over the course of this January, no new player is going to make the impact that Keating has made since emerging into this team the day I arrived at the club. It's like I snuck him in with me. All I did was have a little look at the youngsters that we had here. It's not that hard. I don't know how the previous manager struggled with it so much. But at 1-0 up, this very much inserts us into a title race. I'm a little bit disappointed to see how few people have turned up here to see us in one of the most important matches we've had since I've arrived here. The locals don't seem to be getting caught up with the idea of it all. I mean, 25,000, I guess, is a decent attendance, but it doesn't look very full, does it? We've got loads of empty seats. I think this is only a 32,000 capacity, so it's not a million miles off being full. It just doesn't look it. Come on, Football Manager, represent these things better. I'm doing the Coventry faithful a disservice by suggesting that they're not getting behind the boys, but they're getting behind the boys. And look how close this puts us to those playoffs with what, sort of a number of games still to go. Like 18 games still to go. We'd be 4 points outside of the playoffs, and Norwich, the team we're beating now, will be the team that we're chasing. So it's on. We are going to go for it. I will check in after this match on Brackley, because I know some of you will be wondering what's been going on there. You will be as flabbergasted as I was when you see who has taken over as the manager there. And I suspect he's going to ruin everything for them. They'd already fallen off the top of the table when I looked, and it was about a month ago that I looked. So it might have all gone completely wrong. by this point. But Keating plays it back to Eccles, who's got plenty of space to pick a ball, finds Rodoni, who plays it into Scarlett, who took a bit of a heavy touch, has got a little bit wide, but the move keeps going. Keating from the edge of the area can't keep his shot down, but it remains 1-0. And we'd take a final whistle at this point. A final whistle now is fine. We just want to not lose today. We want to be part of the conversation and use that as a way to convince players to come in and sign for us. We were just trying to sign Alfie Dorrington, a centre-back. We offered like £10 million for him. We're discussing terms, but he's gone to Sheffield United. Didn't buy into the plan we've got here. Not ideal. Right, Okereke comes on for Scarlett. Scarlett's going to take a little while before he gets up to pace, I think. Bonner's going to come on for Mason Clark. And then we'll bring El Alrouch on for his debut. He can come on for Keating, who, if I'd have been able to register him when we first signed him, who knows if Keating would have established himself the way he has, because he was very much coming in to be my playmaker. Now he's got to compete with Keating, and we've got two very good options in there. Oh my word, we very nearly immediately gave away a goal after the changes were made. And we're clinging on to a 1-goal lead here. It would be quite handy if we could go up the other end and do another football. Please and thank you. Cross comes in from the corner. Elaine gets ahead to it and has managed to clear, and it's gone behind. Or in fact, it's gone out for a throw. So we get away with not having another corner come in. But if they're as good at throw-ins as we are, the threat is not necessarily over yet. And they are keeping the move going from the throw. And I mean, Elaine looked like he committed a foul and we conceded a goal as part of it. Luckily, they don't get the penalty as well, but it is 1-1 now. I'm going to offer some encouragement. I mean, we'd take a 1-1 draw against Norwich, but we'd obviously much rather win the game. But Norwich are a much better team than us. We're only supposed to finish mid-table this year. They're supposed to be in a legitimate title race. Right, we're a little bit light on wingers. Now we've sold a few. We could probably do with bringing another one in. We'll bring Ruben Colwell on, but he's someone who I'm very much looking to push out the door. So with Paddy Lane going, we probably do need somebody else in to offer us something off the bench in these wide areas. I need to be careful not to trim the squad down too far. And that 11 certainly looks a lot weaker than the 11 that started the game, with a number of key players departing. But have they got enough about them to grab a late winner? It's Colwell on the right hand side. If he can find the right cross, there's always a chance. It falls to Rodoni, but his shot is a very tame one, straight into the hands of the Norwich keeper. And it looks like this is going to end 1-1. There's less than a minute of added time left. Elaine wins the header, but it goes straight to the Norwich player. And this is going to be a kick in the nuts if this goes in. Travers makes the save. We'll take the final whistle now, please, ref. If we end up losing this one, I'm going to be a little miffed, because we were looking good until I made the substitutions. I've temporarily weakened the squad, but there are players coming in. We just maybe can't do 5 substitutions for a match or two until we can get a few more bodies through the door. But 1-1 is fine. We now play Fulham off of the Premier League to try and get in the 5th round of the FA Cup, which we've got some good previous in the FA Cup with Brackley. So fingers crossed that goes well. But on the topic of Brackley, and they're down to 4th. Jez Moxey is the guy they appointed as the manager. Who on earth is Jez Moxey, I hear you cry? He's a non-executive director at Burton Albion in real life, having previously been managing director of Wolves and Norwich. He is not a manager, but somehow he ended up Gillingham manager not long after the save started, and he's left there to become Brackley manager. A 65-year-old, not a footballer, not a manager, still studying for his coaching badges. They've basically appointed a director. So as you can imagine, form has fallen off a cliff. Remember when we won every game? Remember that start we had? Look at what's happened since I left. It's sad to see. Brackley are falling apart. And I mean, yeah, I'm very sad to see what's gone on there. let's go play Fulham and hopefully sign somebody new before then. Well, a few more transfers, both in and out. Eiting has gone to Real Zaragoza for 550,000, and we have replaced him with a goalkeeper. Salvi is a 28-year-old Spanish sweeper keeper who joins us from Leganés. He's played a full season in La Liga for Tenerife a couple of years ago, so he's going to be competing with Travers. And then we have brought in a new winger. Enoch Aguier is a 24-year-old Belgian former under-21 international. 3.5 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential ability. He's formerly of Anderlecht, Burnley, Sheffield Wednesday. Lots and lots of football, and he can play on either side. And just, it's a younger option. It's important to have a younger option. But now we play Fulham in the FA Cup. Dane Scarlett's cup tied for this one, unfortunately. And Salvi and Aguier will both start from the bench. So this is the team. Travers in goal. Back for Scales, Kitching, Alain and Bree. Eccles at the base of the midfield. Keating and Rodoni ahead of him. Mason Clark on the left. Johnson on the right. Okereke up front. A win here would be lovely. Fulham are mid-table in the Premier League. So a little win here will do us the world of good financially, motivationally, and also give us a little bit of a clue that if we were to sneak into a promotion race, we might have a chance of actually not finishing bottom on 3 points or something embarrassing like that, because obviously that's the kind of thing we'd quite like to avoid if at all possible. But I imagine the most likely outcome here today is Fulham beat us like 2-0 and we just focus on the league for the rest of the season, which in itself wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Good turnout today, nearly 30,000 people here, and those extra 5,000 people make a world of difference because you can't see any of the sky blue seats knocking around the place today. So clearly those 5,000 people absolutely crucial to how full the stadium looks. And we've not had a single highlight in this first half. Here we go. Finally a highlight. There are a couple of seats, but I think that's just because people are standing up. But it is Fulham who are on the attack. And, oh my word, they've hit the post. Mason Clark can't get onto the end of that. And Fulham run it out for a goal kick. And that should be that for the highlight. It is. We have created absolutely nothing in this first half, though. It's going to be Fulham with a free kick just before half-time. Travers has that covered, though. Hopefully he'll be on his toes a little bit now that we've got some competition for him. We didn't really have competition in goal previously. And having had a mutiny at Brackley just earlier this season off the back of not having strength in depth in goal, we wanted some strength in depth in goal. Ideally, we bring in a third keeper as well, just to make sure we don't get the dreaded message. But Travers certainly seeming to be benefiting from having to up his game a little bit. Another good save from him. Remains 0-0. It's going to be a Fulham corner. It'd be nice if we could see us do an attack in a highlight. That would be nice, but I guess not essential. My success here at Coventry is not going to be decided based on how we do in the FA Cup. But Scales intercepts, Eccles plays it back to Travers, and now he lumps forward looking for Okereke, can't find him, and it goes all the way back to the Fulham keeper. It's the first we've seen of him. Confirmation that they have won. I think we're going to be bringing Aguier on probably with 20-25 minutes to go, just to see if he can maybe conjure something up for us, offer us something that we're not getting out of Johnson or Mason Clark. Probably Johnson, because Mason Clark's my boy, and Johnson was on the transfer list when I arrived. I still don't really know why, because he does seem quite good, but he's 30 and he was expensive. So if similar to what we've done with Buchanan, who came in for a lot of money, if someone wants to give me a lot of money for Johnson, we very much take it, because I wouldn't be spending 7, 8, 9, 10 million, whatever it was, on 30-year-olds. It's madness. And there is the equaliser through Scales. It comes from a set piece. We're quite good at set pieces. And that one, very impressive stuff. Scales is having a lovely time. He's celebrating it like a madman. Rodoni played it in. Bree nods it back across goal. Alain with the shot that's blocked. And it falls to Scales. And it's 1-1. And now we are going to bring on the new boy and let him just run at this defence. Enoch Aguier, like I say, natural on both sides as a winger, but he's a left footer, so let's make him an inverted winger on that side, have him cut inside. Scales is tired, so Matayu can come on for him, and it would be nice to be able to bring Scarlett on at this point, but we'll bring on Bonner. I mean, he's scored a few goals. Okereke looked good when I first arrived and has gone off the boil a little bit. One of the reasons we were so keen to bring in Scarlett. But Bonner has scored a couple of important goals off the bench. I think playing against Premier League opposition for a guy who was at Lincoln last year, he's probably a step too far in his development. He's still only 20, but it could be the making of him a game like this. I mean, Keating's not looking out of place in central midfield, and he's even younger and has played even less competitive football because he didn't have that couple of years at Lincoln that Bonner had. Right, Scales wins the ball back, so the substitutions haven't gone through yet. Scales looking for options ahead of him. It's a lovely ball in for Okereke. He's got nobody supporting him though. Plays it back to Scales again, who plays it across to Keating. Lays it in for Bree, who shoots from the edge of the area. Can't keep his shot down. And unfortunately, it all just peters out. We're looking like we're actually getting into this as the game goes on. Bonner wins the ball back. Mason Clark to Keating. Couldn't quite get control of the ball. And it's back all the way to Travers in goal for us, who lays it off to Elaine. And now Bree is going to try and charge down the right-hand side. Plays it in for, I guess that's Aguier, is actually called Boateng, which is going to confuse me no end. So Enoch Aguier has Boateng on his shirt, but he scored on his debut within like a minute of arriving. That's why you play a left footer on the right-hand side, because he can give you a finish like that. And I suspect he's going to be quite a useful player for us, because he's done well there, lays it off, eventually gets it back, and then shoots first time, brimming with confidence, and having the right-footed Mason Clark and the left-footed Aguier. I think I'm going to very much enjoy this front three with Dane Scarlett between the two of them. So if anyone does want to buy Johnson, I think he might officially be for sale. Oh my word, that's chaos. We've got away with that one there. I would like the win now, please. But it's going to be Fulham with the corner. We still remain 2-1 up. Travers, very comfortable, collecting the cross from the corner. And just take your time with it. That's it. Take your time. Lumps it forward, looking for Aguier/Boateng. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to call him. Keating gives it to him again, and now he's one-on-one with a fullback again, and looks like he very much enjoys that kind of situation. Plays it back to Keating. Keating into Rodoni, and now it's back with Eccles. Bree, who's created a lot as that attacking wing-back position on that right-hand side, back to Boateng, and he gives the ball to Keating, floats it in, looking for the run of Rodoni, can't find him, but it comes back to Eccles again. We look like we're going to grab a third here. Keating again, playing it in for Bree on the overlap again, and there is Bonner, and that is 3-1, and the youngster's got a goal. What do I know? I'm just his handsome manager. 3-1 to Coventry, and that should be our name in the hat for the 5th round of the FA Cup. Goodness me, we're having some fun in the FA Cup on Non-League to Legend this year. And that's a lovely cross from Bree, who's looked really, really good today at right wing back. And he's now shattered, so he can come off. Al Rouch can go there. Eccles can go there. And between the lot of them, they can learn to enjoy it. Mason Clark. Osman Camera. I'm not sure I know who you are. Yeah, barely used you. I guess we bring Colwell on that left-hand side, and you don't really want to be a ball-winning midfielder, do you? I mean, I guess you kind of can. Al Rouch is going to have to play as a ball-winning midfielder and like it, because he's not getting into that playmaker spot ahead of Keating. So if he wants to be in this team long-term, he's going to have to learn to play one of the other two roles anyway. With 2 minutes of normal time left, it's a shenanigans corner for Fulham, and goodness me, does that make that third goal that bit more important. It's 3-2. Now you just need to hold on, chaps. If we could do, I hate a shenanigans corner as much as anybody, but just hold on now. 8 minutes of time added on. I might have counted my 5th round chickens before they hatched here. Matthew, good work winning the ball back. Alarouch trying to play it forward to Rodoni. He's going to have another go at it, and it's Keating who's got options ahead of him. One of them is Bonner, who receives it beautifully, but can't apply the finish, but it's a corner. And we do have some big boys. Liam Kitching will be lurking. It's going to be Colwell to take. He's going to hit the in-swinger. Is he going to hit Kitching? Because if he does, it's 4-2 and we are through. Colwell with the in-swinger to the far post. He was aiming at Kitching, but the keeper comes out and collects relatively comfortably in the end. We'll take the final whistle now, please, referee. We don't need any more highlights, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any. Job done. We're better than the Premier League. That's what we learnt today. And I guess we finished the episode off by finding out who we're going to get in the 5th round. We're getting money flowing in as well. Money, really quite important. When's our next game? Midweek. I think the draw will happen before then. So here we go then. 5th round draw. Brackley are still in. Oh, that would be the dream. If we draw Brackley, that's sensational stuff. I mean, they've got to beat Burnley first, which is going to be a tall order, the form they're in, but that's what... No, they've got West Ham. We'll take Arsenal away. There's a money tie for you. That'll do, I guess. I suppose that will be the next episode. Arsenal away. And hopefully there'll be a few shiny new signings before then once again. If you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.